Take it away.
Hello, everyone. We are Mealify. My name is Elaine, and my teammates are Lindsay and Felisa. Next slide, please. Thank you. Mealify is for those who don't know what to do with items in their pantry. They can get a recipe with items they already have and prevent food waste. And this is also for young adults who don't know what to make and want to find new simple meals. We considered a lot going into this project and aim to make it flexible to everyone, no matter their food preferences or what they have in their pantry. And throughout this process, we've learned that programming means challenging ourselves. Our team had an ambition to create an app to demonstrate our ability to learn and apply to new languages and functionality that is industry worthy. At one point, we were determined to find solutions to a problem we kept facing, user authentication, but we also learned about knowing when we've reached our limit and reassessing our priorities and goals for our project. Overall, I say for the time we met our goals in creating an app hungry people would want to use.
All right. Let's take a look at the demo. So here, when you open the app, you'll see our landing page. If you're already an established user, you can log in, but if you don't have an account, you can register. And you'll just register with a username, an email, and a password. But to save time, we've already created a user. So we'll just go ahead and log in. All right, once you log in, you will be directed to the dashboard page. And here you can see, you can click get a recipe, which will pull a random recipe, and we'll get into that later. Or you can go down here to the quick links and set up your pantry preferences and see all your saved recipes. So to get started, we'll just set up our pantry. We'll click pantry. And here you can add several different pantry items. We have them categorized by type. So you'll just click add and you'll go in. You can add various items, whatever you have on hand or whatever you plan on having. All right, and you can see once you've selected all your items and hit save, they'll show up here in your pantry. You can also remove items by clicking remove. And just go in and remove the item that you no longer have. And click save. And then that item is gone. So after you set up your pantry, you'll want to go in and set up your preferences. So we'll go over to our preferences page. And here you can you can add your intolerances and dietary restrictions. So we'll just click add, click on our intolerances. You can add any allergies you may have. And then dietary, if you only wanted to get vegan recipes, you can select vegan. Then you'll click save. And similar to the pantry, you could also remove items if you wanted. Click save and you'll see that item is gone.
So now that we have our pantry and our preferences set up, we're going to be looking for a recipe. So we can go to our recipes tab. And here as a new user, we haven't selected any recipes. So there'll be some pre-populated some pre-populated recipes at the top that you can explore, but we're really interested in finding recipes that are specific to what our pantry has and what we're looking for on a particular day. So first we can look through, and all these buttons are going to get us different recipes. Down here, if we click this, we're going to get a new recipe that takes into account data from our pantries. So I'll click this, And if you remember, I added chicken to the pantry, and here we can see that it found us a recipe using chicken. So here's a detailed view of this new recipe. We have our ingredients, we have a nutritional data score that's going to give us a pretty broad reaching nutritional score that's going to tell us about our daily nutritional intake from this meal. We also can link to the full recipe in a external website. And if we like this recipe, we can click save for later. And then when we go back to our recipes page, that recipe is going to be here in our recipes. Now, as we use the app, we'll have more and more saved recipes, and this will be a much larger list. But for now, let's keep adding. So if I'm not feeling specific, I just want some inspiration, I can click get a random recipe, and this will take into account our dietary restrictions and our intolerances, but it'll still get us a pretty random recipe. I love some cilantro hummus, so we'll save that for later. We can also click like if we want to save that for later and have our app know that we really enjoyed that recipe. And then the third way we can get a new recipe is if we want to get specific. We can add an ingredient because we know it's summer and we maybe are having a craving for peaches. We can put peach in there. And maybe we want some Mexican food or Indian food. We can add all the restrictions we want. Then when we click add a recipe or find a recipe, it finds us a new recipe. So we can save this one for later. And when we head back, there it is. So the last thing that you can do on this page is if you have been using this for a while and you have 20, 30, 100 recipes, and you want to look for specifically recipes that you've found in the past that have things from your current pantry status, then we can click this button and it'll narrow down the recipes to things that are in your pantry. And so that is just another way that you can find a new recipe. It's very exciting, and we hope that you guys can use this app in the future. Thanks for listening.